Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm doing another interview. My guest today is an actress. They've appeared in shows such as Waterloo Road, and today they're going to come on and tell us a little bit more about their career. So today Anna will be joining me.
Hi, my name's Anna JOBARTEH and I used to play Ruth Kirby on Waterloo Road. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here today.
Thank you so much for coming. So today we're going to talk about your acting career. My first question is, when did you first get into the acting world?
I first got into it when I was about 13 years old. So it was pretty much the year that I got Waterloo Road. It was like my second ever job. So yeah, I was 13, I was still in high school, and yeah, it just kind of went from there really.
Oh, fantastic. And had acting always been kind of something you were interested in, or when you kind of first got into it, was that kind of something brand new to you?
Yeah, no, acting was always something I was interested in. I always went to kind of like classes and did musical theatre and did like amateur dramatics and stuff like that as a kid. But I think after getting the professional roles that I got, that really made me definitely want to do it as a career for the rest of my life, because I loved it so much. So yeah, it just kind of all happened. It wasn't a big plan, it was just right place, right time, I guess.
Oh, fantastic. It sounds like kind of the first early stages of your career are fantastic. So you played Ruth Kirby on Waterloo Road, like you said earlier. So what was it like auditioning to be on Waterloo Road?
Oh, it was so amazing. I mean, it was stressful because I wanted it so much, because I was already a fan of the show, and it was obviously at that time we were going into series 6, so you know it was already quite established and quite popular. So yeah, I just remember really wanting to get it. It was, for me, I know like other people when I've watched these interviews have said that it was quite a long process, but for me, I just had like one first audition, and then a couple of weeks later I had a thing called a recall, which meant that I was being called back again to kind of do the scenes again and just have a second meeting. But for me, that was all I had. I didn't have rounds and rounds of auditions like some people did. I just had the 2. And then there was a few weeks of sort of radio silence waiting to hear, which was torturous. I remember that. But yeah, it was just kind of like first audition, recall, and then a few weeks down the line was told that I got the part, so I felt very lucky.
Yeah, that's a super cool audition process, and it's quite cool how kind of it was really quick as well, because like you were saying, a lot of people's audition processes for multiple shows are quite long, so it's kind of cool how it was really short. Just a random question, did you watch Waterloo Road before you auditioned for it?
Yeah, I did, 100%. I grew up, I remember watching it from the day it started in real time as well, like in 2005 or whatever. I was a bit young then, really. I was sort of just going into high school myself, but yeah, I remember I was obsessed, like everyone was. It was always what we were all talking about, and you know, Dante, Chloe, like all the original characters, Janice, and all the dramatics that happened. Yeah, I was a huge fan.
Oh, that's great that you're a huge fan before the show. I think that's really cool. So do you have any advice to people who want to get into acting?
Yeah, I mean, I want to just say now, like, no matter what age you are, it's never too late or early to start, I think, with acting. Like, I know there's a lot of pressure on young people, especially to feel like they need to have everything figured out and stuff, and if you didn't start young, then you won't be able to start at my age now or whatever, but you can. I think the best thing to do is practice and get comfortable. So if there are any, and I know it's hard at the moment because of COVID, but if there are any sort of drama clubs or places that aren't necessarily even paid for classes, places that just like put on a youth club show and stuff like that, just to get a bit of confidence in performing in front of an audience, and then, you know, you can join an agency and get auditions that way, or just be practicing until that opportunity comes up. But don't get knocked back. If you want to be an actor, it's a long road, but it's worth it.
Yeah, that's some great advice. Thank you for sharing it. So besides Waterloo Road, you've also been in Coronation Street as multiple roles. So what was it like being on that show?
Oh, Kirby's lovely. I mean, it's always nice to go there because it's local. Like I'm originally from Blackpool, and then I moved to Manchester a few years ago, sorry. So like, with it being a nice local job, it kind of has that feeling of Waterloo Road again, where, you know, a lot of the actors are from the Manchester, Lancashire area, and then yeah, it's fun as well. Everyone's super nice. It's like a family there, and I've only ever played like small roles, so I've not been there for a really long time, but even just having a few days there or whatever, like, everyone's really welcoming and lovely, and yeah, it's just a really pleasant place to work. So I enjoyed getting to do that.
Yeah, definitely. That does sound like a great place to work. And do you think you'll go back in the future after COVID?
I mean, if they audition me again, yeah, I think I would go back again as like another character. It would be nice to go and do, you know, a few episodes there and have a couple of weeks or months working there. But yeah, it just depends whether they call me.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. So, do you look up to anybody in the acting world?
Oh, so many people. This is a really tough question. Whenever I get asked, like, oh, who's your favourite actor? But I just admire people with sort of long, steady careers. Like, obviously our newest Oscar winner, like Daniel Kaluuya, he's an iconic guy, like, doing so much for representation. It's taken him a lot of years to get to where he is today. Like, this year he's you know, just ended up winning all the big awards, and he's already been working for like 20 years before, but not everyone knows about that. And it's people like that that I guess, you know, are, you know, they've always been there and they've worked hard, and it shows it pays off. And it's always interesting when people maybe haven't been to drama school, like Jodie Comer. I really look up to her because I didn't go to drama school either, and she kind of worked from a young age and like is getting really big, like really well recognized now. So yeah, just people like that, like the younger people that have been around for a while and they're doing really good work. It's inspirational to see. It's nice.
Yeah, those are some great people to look up to, and it's great that you can feel inspired by them. So what was it like being in Doctors?
Oh, I've done Doctors a few times actually now over the years, but it's always been really fun. The first time I ever did Doctors, I worked with an actress called Dominique Jackson, who's actually a really close friend of mine, and she actually did a guest episode on Waterloo Road. I think maybe the series after me. I can't exactly remember which episode, and I can't remember the character name, but yeah, that was a long time ago as well now when I first went and did that. I think it was about 2013 actually. So that's another one that's always really fun to do. Like, they have a lot of people coming in and out doing episodes here and there, so you have like a week or so filming with them, and they're just really welcoming, and I've always enjoyed the episodes and the storylines and stuff. They're always fun to play. There's always some drama, so yeah. Yeah,
most definitely. That does sound like a really cool thing to be part of. Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Ooh. Oh God, 10 years' time. It's so funny that you ask that, because for me, it's kind of like someone could have asked me that 10 years ago, and that would have been when Waterloo Road was like or when I was just in Waterloo Road. And so someone said to me then, where would you see yourself in 10 years' time? I don't know if it would necessarily be here, so I don't know how good I am at predicting these things. But in 10 years, I'd just love to still be acting as I am, like in theatre or TV, film, whatever. I'm not out here to be famous. I just want to pay my bills doing what I love. So in 10 years, if I'm still acting, still doing what I'm doing now, then I'll be pretty happy. So yeah. But if I win the lottery in 10 years too, I mean, that would also be great.
Yeah, well, yeah, that'll be fantastic. Yeah, fingers crossed, maybe that'll happen. What was it like being on Waterloo Road and being in front of the camera?
Oh, it's an amazing experience. I mean, for me now, it's getting to, you know, like I say, it's however many years since I did it, like well over a decade now. So the specifics get blurrier and blurrier, but like the feeling, I always remember the feeling of being there and just being with everyone, and how lucky I felt. It was just an absolute blessing every day to be able to go in front of the camera, get my makeup done, get that uniform on, and just go and do what I absolutely love doing. So yeah, it was a great experience. Everyone's always really said, we all got on really well because it was a really young cast. Everyone sort of was of that age. It was exciting. It was we all just felt like so lucky to be there. So yeah, it was just great. It was one of my favorite jobs, and probably will be forever, because it was one of my first and one of my biggest, so I've always been grateful to it.
Yeah, it does sound like it was a fantastic experience, and it's great that you got to experience that. So I have a random question again to ask, and do you think Harry and Ruth would have been really good as like an official couple? Because they had a little romance, but it was never confirmed.
I know. You know what? I was always I remember that's where I would have liked to have seen Ruth go in her, if they'd have continued and had kept my character in. That was kind of one thing that I wish had been discovered a bit more, because they kind of hinted at it for a couple of episodes and then it just sort of fell to the wayside a little bit. But I like to think that they were good for each other, because he obviously had all the bullying and stuff like that, and she kind of stood up for him, but she was really socially awkward, and he still liked her. So I like to think that maybe they would have given things a go. Kel's a lovely guy as well, who like obviously played Harry. We used to spend a lot of time together on set, because a lot of our scenes were together. So yeah, fond memories of that. Yeah, I'd like to think that there would have been a bit of something there for them both.
Yeah, me too. I was looking on like the Waterloo Road website, and it does say like that one of Harry's romances was Ruth, but you know, maybe. No, I don't even know.
maybe behind closed doors, after she left, they kept in touch, maybe.
Yeah, well, that would be nice to think of. So what was it like being in So Awkward? Because you appeared in that for an episode.
I did. That was very short but sweet. The kids, I mean, it was great to go back to CBBC, because by this point when I did that, it was only a couple of years ago. I think maybe 2017 maybe, I don't know, you might have the information there, I can't remember now, 2018, something like that. So it was nice to go back to CBBC, because after the time of Waterloo Road and stuff, I had a stint of doing quite a few CBBC shows. I did like Stepping Up and Combat Kids, and worked for CBBC quite a lot. So it was nice to go back to doing that, because you just get to be silly. You just get to be a kid, like, for the day. And it was a fun show, like, again, set in a school. So it's like reliving the old days, I guess.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier, because obviously like So Awkward is like a school show, so it must have been kind of fun and a bit weird kind of going back to what Waterloo Road was kind of like.
Yeah, well, it was it's a similar format to Waterloo Road, as well as in that they have a whole school as the studio. It's not a studio in a studio lot. It's an actual school that the program have bought or whatever and used. So it was very similar to our setup on Waterloo Road, which was funny.
Yeah, that's great that it was filmed like that as well. If you could pick, what has been the best moment in your career?
Oh, that's hard. That is hard, because there have been many. I mean, for me, like, it's a hard push between. There's a couple of things. I'd say the best has actually just happened at the start of this year, which I'm not allowed to fully say what's happened, what's going on yet, but I can assure you it's it's exciting. I've just completed a really fun job. I will say it took me abroad, and I was filming in Madrid, so I'm allowed to say that. But yeah, that was incredible. I have been lucky enough to actually work overseas in a film that I did a couple of years ago, again in Madrid. I don't know what it is about me in Madrid, but I keep getting to work there, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, that's the most exciting, I think, which is annoying because I can't really answer the question because I can't talk about it. But I've just done a very amazing job that I felt incredibly lucky to do because of COVID and everything. That just made it even more special. The fact that I was able to work during such a difficult time, and I really appreciate how lucky I am that I've been able to do that when a lot of other people at the moment are struggling. So yeah, yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Exciting stuff, I think, is coming, hopefully. But yeah.
Yeah, that's super exciting, that new project, and yeah, I can't wait to hear about that in the future. So I have one more question for you. This is always my favourite one to end the interview with, and is, do you have any acting stories? It can be from Waterloo Road, anything you kind of want to share.
Oh man, I have so many. So I'll do a Waterloo Road one. And this story, I laugh about it now, but at the time I was really like upset. But basically, I know that a lot of people have spoken about the amendments that we used to get on the show, which was when they would do like a rewrite of the scene just before you were supposed to film it. So on this day, I think I'd had a long day and it was like my last scene of the day, and they came through with these rewrites, and I think it was in episode 10 where Grantley's given out the wrong syllabus to the students and Ruth finds out and confronts him. So there was a part of the scene where I had to list off like 6 authors' names, and they changed them just before I had to go up there. So I got really flustered and couldn't remember the right names, and basically and I was with Denise Welsh, who played Steph, and Philip Martin Brown, who played Grantley, and I just couldn't get it right, and I ended up getting really upset and I had to pause filming because I was really stressed out. And Philip and Denise were so nice. Like, I could not tell you how nice they were. They literally just said, "Don't worry, it's fine, we all do this." And obviously I was young and it was one of my first jobs, so I was very stressed. But what Philip ended up doing for me is getting a post-it note, writing the names on and sticking it to his tie so that I could read them as we were doing the scene, just so I could get the shot that we needed. And we laughed about it after that, but now when I watch it and I watch that scene, you can kind of see me reading them, which I still think is quite funny. It was just having one of those days and it wasn't going right for me. But that's one little story that I always remember because they were just so nice. Like, everyone was really nice. You know, people on production teams can sometimes get stressed when they've got a lot to do and they need to finish the scenes, but everyone was just always lovely, which is great.
Oh yeah, that's a kind of a bittersweet story, but yeah, thank you for sharing that.
You go back and watch it now that you know the backstory, you never know. You might see my eyes flick down a bit.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it now. I'll watch it later. But yeah, that's a super cool story, and thank you for sharing that. So we have came to the end of the interview now, and it's been fantastic finding out more about yourself. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Oh, thanks, Charlie. It's lovely to talk to you. You're doing really well with these interviews as well, so keep going.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, you're most welcome. And also thank you to everybody who watched this video. I hope you enjoyed the interview. And I'll see you next week for another one. Bye, guys.